Welcome to Talk Around Beyond, the Wheel of Time showcast. I am your host, Joe Perry, here with my co-hosts, Jen Isgro and Tom Kokoza. How you doing today, Jen?
I am doing great. The weather was fantastic today. It's almost like summer here in New York. We got a bunch of news to talk about today, some exciting announcements, and I can't wait to get started.
How about you, Tom?
Yeah, I'm pumped. I'm very up by the weather. I was outside 3 times today, which is 3 times more than I normally would be. Just because it was so nice out. Which you can't tell by my pale face, but I did try and get some sun today. Yeah, this is a big week. In fact, the news was so big that we switched our plan for what tonight's show was going to be.
Yeah, stopping on a dime, switching directions.
Worked
furiously to do research.
So much research.
Yeah, so much research. That's how much research I did.
You could fill a bucket with my research.
Could fill a bucket with the books that I read.
Sorry.
Really, you could fill a bucket with the books that I read. It's not an exaggeration. It's a true statement. That's right. We do have an exciting episode. We did switch courses today because of the big news drop. Although, big as it wasn't that surprising. But we'll get into it. I think it was more surprising that they dropped it. That was the more surprising part than actually what it was. But before we get into that, Jen, what's happening?
By the way, that dress you are wearing is green, and this is what's happening. Let's start off with a bang and talk about Yosha Stradowski posting a trailer for the upcoming film Gran Turismo on his Instagram with the caption, "Roll the dice, #Team Kappa." So per Wikipedia, Gran Turismo is an upcoming American biographical coming-of-age sports drama film. I love when Wikipedia lists all those names for movies. Directed by Neil Blomkamp, produced by Columbia Pictures and a bunch of other studios. The film is based on the racing simulation video game series published by PlayStation Studios. The film stars David Harbour, Orlando Bloom, Jerry Halliwell Horner, otherwise known as Ginger Spice, and Jamon Hansu. And the absolute disrespect put on the name of the Dragon Reborn, it also stars Yosha fucking Stradowski as Nicholas Kappa, a rival driver. Will someone make this man a Wikipedia page, please?
I will say they also didn't list the actual star main character.
No, he's there. I just skipped him because I don't care about him and know who he is.
Okay.
I just put famous people in there. Sorry. Yosha Stradowski should be listed with these other people. But anyway, also the music in the film is by Wheel of Time composer Lorne Balfe. Oh. So if you want to be emotional while watching Yosha and listening to a Lorne Balfe epic melody, you don't have to wait till the fall. Gran Turismo will be released on August 11th. And because this is not a Prime Video project, I believe it actually will be released in August. We can end this one with a slightly somber #hen news.
Oh, hen news, you say?
Yes. Oh. Last weekend, Juliette Howland posted a picture on Instagram of the back of a hen's head intently watching the television, or telly, as she might say, which is playing King Charles's coronation. The caption says, "Coronation chicken. Pollyanna watching with us, not because we've totally lost the plot, not yet anyway, but because she's very ill. Bad egg yolk peritonitis. Doing all I can for her." So egg yolk peritonitis is commonly diagnosed in laying hens when yolk from a developing egg or an incompletely shelled or ruptured egg is deposited within the body cavity instead of coming out as a fully shelled egg. So it can be treated with medications, antibiotics. The chicken might have to be hospitalized if it's very serious. But Juliette did post a few videos a few days ago of herself stuck in the car in a bad rainstorm with all the chickens, and another set of pictures a few hours ago, and Pollyanna is still okay, but not out of the woods yet. So please send all your yellow Aja vibes over to Pollyanna. We all hope she comes through this okay.
I remember that what is it called? Peritonitis?
Peritonitis?
Peritonitis.
Peritonitis.
I remember you explaining this one other time, maybe like a year or two ago. Yep. One of the other hens had it at some point.
Oh, okay.
And if I remember correctly, they pulled through.
Yeah.
I just can't remember which hen it was.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm done. So back to you, Joe.
Welcome back to another edition of Where's What Origins. You know what? I don't really give a fuck what Origins is today. Let's get into the news. All right, it's time for some news. I think that's what everyone's been waiting for. We're going to start off a little light and get into crescendo, like a wonderful piece of classical music. We're going to start off with a little bit of season 3 filming. It appears that season 3 is continuing to film. Priyanka Bose has been posting some photos on her Instagram, mentioning a morning shoot. Then also she posted a set picture, blurry set picture of somebody wearing a jacket that says costume on the back. And Tom, I think you identified the middle person as a Superman.
Yeah.
And then I think that's Eddie Murphy there on the right.
Wow, this is quite an amazing picture.
Yeah. It's a pretty amazing picture. That's right. You heard it here first. On set, Superman and Eddie Murphy of the Wheel of Time.
Together at last.
Yes.
Sounds like a dream I would have.
Wait, why is it Eddie Murphy?
The red.
In the red?
Yeah. Was that Raw where he wore the red suit? The red jumpsuit?
Eddie Murphy always wearing the red leather suit.
Yeah, that's... They took you that... God. I had to explain it. I thought you'd make the connection right away. So anyway, we got a blurry picture. Yes, exactly. We got a Sorry. We got a blurry picture. And I happened to notice the flooring. I was looking for any kind of images or any kind of tells as to what this is. And I was able to compare the flooring and even the column in the background there to the White Tower set. This has to be the White Tower. And it makes sense that obviously Alana would be doing this. And it seems like they've been doing most of the filming in the beginning at the studio. So that kind of all ties into me. Your thoughts, Jen and Tom, you convinced? Have I convinced you that this is the White Tower?
I'm just excited they're using that exact same hallway. I hope they continue to only show us that part of the White Tower forever.
I know.
No other parts.
So the other Wednesday, I was watching the Dusty Wheel and I was going through episode 5, trying to find something that matches this. And when I got to the room, right, the hallway that they spend so much time in, I was like, oh, here it is. This is the room. And it's got the pillars. So this might be the same exact room.
Oh my God.
We're going to be getting a lot of this hallway. But my question to you was, what's Alana doing in the tower in season 3 if it's supposed to be book 4?
I would say that she's getting her instructions as to what she is to do for this season, whatever that may be, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that Alana is going to be at FOM at the end of season 2.
Yeah, so, I agree.
Every single person is going to be at FOM.
Everyone.
Every actor.
They're actually going to move the White Tower. Yeah. And it's going to be on legs. And it's going to walk over. So I think this is getting her involved in one of the storylines that will be going on this season. So I don't know if they're going to spell it out explicitly, like, this is what I want you to do, but I think it's going to be she's there to find out, like, whatever she's going to do next.
You agree,
I was just thinking about the hallway, and like, how on the Big Bang Theory when they would walk up and down the stairs and then but it was the same set. Did you ever watch Big Bang Theory?
I've seen it before.
Really?
It was like if they were walking up, it was like they would come up one step and then go to the other side. But then it would still be, obviously, it's the same hallway every time. That's what I was thinking they're walking up the White Tower and it's just the same hallway over and over
Over
again.
and over again. Everything
Yeah,
looks the same.
I mean, I can see them like this is what any hallway in the
Right,
White Tower looks like, and you just dress it differently for whatever's going on here.
Yeah, like no water statues.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense for her to start the season in the White Tower.
I'm gonna assume that's what this is, but obviously, right, book 4, Alana's in the Two Rivers. I kind of like the idea of how she just, Perrin shows up there and all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, Alana and Verin here. I like that surprise. It's not like a huge, reveal or anything, but I just kind of liked it that they were there and you didn't know it until Perrin gets there, and they've been there for a while too. So I don't know. I kind of like that. But if they're just going to do a setup like, Alana, this season, I need you to go to the Two Rivers.
But there's a lot of time for them to have gone to the Two Rivers that we're not going to get on the show because like season 2 and season 3 are happening at once. Like, I'm sorry, book 2 and book 3 are happening at once. So book 4 is like, you know what I mean? Like, do you think during the events of book 3, they were going to the Two Rivers? And then you just like see them in book 4?
That's a good question. It's hard to say because of the time jump. And no, that's book 2. That's a big time jump. I'm not sure.
Verin is in the tower at one part of book 3, right? She gives her the
when Egwene takes her acceptance test.
Right.
Yes.
But then like maybe later, like in the second half of the book.
And do we ever get a clear explanation as to why they were in the Two Rivers? Like don't they say they were looking for more channelers? That's what they say.
Yeah, they're recruiting.
Yeah.
They were going there for
recruiting. If there's 4 Tavir in there, then they should probably just go check everybody else. Just make sure.
I kind of like that I like the idea that we don't get a scene her being sent off because then you kind of know why they're going there, or at least have some sort of idea. I like that the fact that they just show up there and then you're not really sure what they're doing there and kind of looks a little suspicious. I like that feeling. So,
well, what if
they're
like
gonna mess with that?
She says like, I have a job for you, and then it just like cuts away and you don't know what the job is.
Why would they waste? That's like wasting time to me. Like,
well, maybe something else is happening in that scene, and then at the end she's like, oh,
okay.
I want you to do something for me or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, they could be setting
something
up
else happening in the tower.
It could be set up. Mayhem's asking if this is from the same episode where Egwene takes her test, but Egwene would have taken her test in season 2 likely because she's going to be in the waste. I don't think she's going back to the tower. We discussed this. We don't think after the season that she's going to be going back to the tower until, much later. She would have already taken her accepted test likely in this season. I mean, if she takes her test in the beginning of season 3, then goes to the waste. I don't know. I don't see that. I don't see her going back to the tower, then going to the waste.
Yeah, it doesn't. They wouldn't let her go.
Yeah.
So,
what book does she like? This is whatever. We're a spoiler podcast. What book does she physically travel through Teleron Riyadh in? When she leaves the waste? Egwene.
6.
She's like steps into Teleron Riyadh like physically.
Oh, yeah. When she comes back.
Yeah.
Is it 5 or 6?
6.
6? Okay.
Well, she can't. They don't think they would make her do that now.
I doubt it. Yeah. Some other news here. So somebody who works on the show, or worked at least season 2, I don't know if they work on season 3, was asked a question. Can you say anything about how far into... Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm really looking forward to the second season. Can you say anything about how far into the creation process it is? Meaning, I think they were asking, like, is it done? Is it ready to come out? And this person from the show responded, oh yeah, Rob posted that. I probably should have told you not to post that, but the second season is expected to premiere in late 2023, maybe autumn. I'll keep my fingers crossed, and I'm looking forward to see it on the screen. Sorry, Rob.
And it's gone.
What was posted? There was nothing posted.
Sorry, people. I
Yeah.
didn't want to post it and share it because I didn't want to get anybody in trouble. And also, if this goes all over the place, then that person's not going to post anymore. So, yeah. So somebody who worked on the show said late 2023, maybe autumn. This is the third, right? We had Harriet, we had the article about Mira, and now this person who works on the show all say autumn.
I don't even believe this guy. Did he really work on the show?
Yeah.
Or did he just say he worked on it?
Why would he say he worked on the show and not?
I don't know, because he's
The
a
guy-
person on the internet.
No, he's worked with Michael Bay. So
No.
So why I'm saying he's a
because
legit.
he's posting so much that it doesn't seem like he would be allowed to post this.
Well, he
much.
didn't say nothing he posted was inappropriate except for saying that maybe.
But I don't know. I feel like nobody's allowed to say anything at all. And he's like, he's posting like concept art and stuff. Like, well, it's not like official concept art, but
No.
he did post some stuff.
He posted images from the previous seasons or that was already released. Mostly.
No, he posted that picture. Am I allowed to say what it is?
No.
Okay, then cut that out of the episode.
I didn't put it in. I didn't put it in the news for a reason.
But it's on Instagram.
I know it is on Instagram.
You know what picture
But again,
I'm talking about.
we don't want to call.
But we don't know what it is. We have no idea what that picture is.
Okay.
There's no.
Joe got passionate.
No, I'm serious. Like we have no idea what that picture is. So I don't want to. I don't want to even put that out there. Let's move on from that part. So are you convinced? Fall. Everyone here.
Yes.
Has your percentage increased from last week?
No.
No. Tom?
Yeah, I mean, I'm locked in. The only thing I could think of is that there's a possibility it's Gen fall and not actual fall. That it's early September and before the autumnal equinox.
Okay, thank you. And our final piece of news today is the official announcement that Mira Sayal is playing Verin. Are you both surprised?
Shocked to my core. My very core.
Oh, I have to pull up our list, right? Did we
Yeah, I looked at it already.
Surprised face.
I think that me and Tom said Verin, and I think that you said Shiriam just to not have all three of us sing Verin. I don't think you actually. I actually
thought she could be a Shiriam. I had mentioned that before.
Then you were wrong, and me and Tom were right.
Yeah, I guess so. Let me mark that off on the list there for us. Yeah. So, Tom, are you surprised at all? I'm probably not, because that's who you guessed it would be.
No, I think from the day she was announced, I said, "Oh, well, she'll probably be Verin then." So, yeah, I don't think nothing ever really maybe waver from that. So, yeah, not surprised, but very surprised to see it get dropped today. To see it dropped at all for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
After they didn't reveal it at JordanCon, when they revealed other castings,
yeah,
I thought they weren't going to reveal who she was until the show was coming out.
Really?
So, yeah, I feel like it's been so long, and they're just not she was announced on the show a year and a half ago.
Almost 2 years ago.
Yeah. So, okay. At a certain point, you just go, well, I guess the other shoe's not dropping. Mm-hmm. So the fact that it did today was a very pleasant surprise.
Yeah, I mean, I think, does this mean, are they ramping up? Is this officially like a ramp up now? Because we've gotten some big castings in a matter of a month's time. 3, 4 castings.
I don't know if it's a ramp up.
No, you don't think so?
I think that there's a possibility that, hey, all the people who would normally do like the Wednesday fan engagement stuff, talking about the show, they can't do that right now.
Right.
Mhm.
So I feel like they're like, well, we got to give them something. Who knows how long this strike's going to go on?
That's
Sweet.
true. Yeah, that is
Give 'em
true.
some- but that works for me. I don't really care, selfishly, like what the impetus is.
Well, the What Wednesday was Rafe just doing his own thing. He said, right, it wasn't going to be anything official or nothing earth shattering. It
Right.
was just
But
him.
still, I feel like there might be a little bit of like,
It sounded like it's like he was getting excited.
yeah, whatever the case may be, I think that it right, it's it was a different thing, right? This is definitely the first time that they've ever released something to the Nerdist. And like, you know, if they're releasing castings to, you know, publications, that's a sign that something's ramping up.
Yeah, and it's ironically it was Amy Ratcliffe who wrote the article, and she was the one who was moderating the New York Comic Con panel when Mira Sala was first announced.
It's true.
She
And I
probably
do want
wrote
to
it, and I'm sorry, and then I know what you want to say, but she probably wrote it, and they were like, "All right, we'll let you know when it's cool to release this."
2 years later.
2 years later.
Yeah.
No, but go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I just wanted to say we I think we shouted her out on Twitter, but I want to give Amy Ratcliffe credit for the way that she wrote the release and the like her not revealing anything about the character of Verin to the point where she's like, hey, if you don't know who this person is, don't look her up.
Yeah, don't Google
You,
her.
you
right?
would be better served not to. And I think that's such a unusual thing for something like this to happen, where people are normally just like, oh, let me get who this character is and tell you everything that happens about them, or ham-handedly allude to like shocking revelations in a way that would clearly indicate what those shocking revelations are. So I just want to give her kudos to how she wrote this article. I thought it was very well done.
Yeah. I wonder if that tempted more people to look her up, though. But
She warned you.
she warned. That's right. She gave the warning. So since we have this casting coming out today, we switched gears onto what we were going to cover today, and we decided, hey, they announced Verin. Let's do a Verin deep dive. So let's get into it. Jen, do you want to read us into the first appearance of Verin Mathwin?
I do. So there's like 2 first appearances. There's like a first appearance and then like a secondary first appearance where she is more fully described. So the first one is chapter 4 of The Great Hunt, Summoned. And I will find it. Okay, here it is. Okay. Fewer than half a dozen of the Aes Sedai who had accompanied the Amerlin were there. Verin Mathwin and Seraphel of the Brown Aja did not look up at Moraine's entrance. Seraphel was intently reading an old book with a worn, faded leather cover, handling its tattered pages carefully, while plump Verin, sitting cross-legged beneath an arrow slit, held a small blossom up to the light and made notes and sketches in a precise hand in a book balanced on her knee. She had an open ink pot on the floor beside her and a small pile of flowers on her lap. The Brown sisters concerned themselves with little besides seeking knowledge. Moraine sometimes wondered if they were really aware of what was going on in the world, or even immediately around them. Okay, and then in chapter 7 of The Great Hunt, Blood Calls Blood, right after they heal Matt, or they try to heal Matt, but don't heal him fully, okay, the door closed behind Leane and the litter bearers, and the Amerlin drew an unsteady breath. A nasty business, that. Nasty. Her face was smooth, but she rubbed her hands together as if she wanted to wash them. But quite interesting, Verin said. She had been the 4th Aes Sedai the Amerlin had chosen for the work. Then later on it says, she was a plump, square-faced woman, and even with the Aes Sedai gift of agelessness, there was a touch of gray in her brown hair. That was her only sign of age, but for an Aes Sedai, it meant she was very old indeed. Her voice held steady, though, matching her smooth cheeks. That's pretty much it. I mean, the scene goes on, but that's like pretty much the first descriptions of Verin.
Yeah, so I guess to sum it up, right? She's about 5 feet tall, stout, dark eyes, brown hair with some gray, motherly looking. I think you talked about the ink. She had ink pots around her. It's noted that she often had ink stained on her hands, and she has a habit of like smudging her like touching her nose, so she would get ink on her nose. So I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into this habit of rubbing her nose. You think there's a little cocaine involved?
No.
Tom? I'll take that as a no.
I was like, what's he going for? He certainly can't be referring to cocaine. Oh, he's referring to cocaine.
We don't hear about drugs at all in the Wheel of Time. There's got to be drugs around, right?
There's drugs. Yeah. Sure there is. So no, I don't think that is no, I don't think that is cocaine. And as we'll talk about later, I don't even know if that's like a real distracted habit or not. Or if that's like a whatever. Something that she does to kind of throw people off. How
smudges ink on her nose.
Yeah.
Make herself look foolish on purpose.
Yeah.
Okay. Or she's on cocaine. She dresses in plain clothes, as opposed to some of the other sisters who tend to wear finer threads. And she does keep a writing case on her belt to jot down notes. So this is Brendan's kind of person right here. She was born in Farmatting in 849, which puts her at 149 years old at the start of the books. So that puts her, I guess, as one of the oldest people in the books until we start meeting some of the kin and stuff like that early on. I didn't know this about her. Did you? That she was engaged to be married to... So she was engaged to be married to a man named Edwin, but was exiled from the city for being able to channel. So she went to Tarvalon in 864 then. So that means she was 15 when she went to Tarvalon. So she was engaged when she was like 14 or 15 years old.
Interesting.
Yeah. That seems kind of
engaged
young.
or like engaged how like Egwene and Rand were engaged?
No, it says, I don't know. It doesn't,
like
just says engaged to be married.
To somebody.
No, it says was engaged to be married. This is from the companion. Doesn't say she was promised or, I don't know, sold. It's just interesting. Is it Farmatting a different culture than the Two Rivers where they get married a lot younger? Because in the Two Rivers, it seems like they're much more conservative with that. And they're like, right, Egwene's like 17, 18 years old when she's just getting her braid. And
right.
Yeah, but they probably would have gotten married not long after that if they stayed. So.
Unless this is like one of those long engagements, Jen, like you're saying, like she's promised to her, but they're really engaged. But it's just like as soon as you turn 16 or 17 or whatever it is, then you're getting married.
Right.
Interesting. Didn't know that. Had no idea she was engaged.
Yeah, I didn't either.
So as I mentioned, she went to the White Tower and Tarvalon in 864. She spent 5 years as a novice, 6 as accepted before becoming Aes Sedai and joining the Brown Aja. She was actually present for Moiraine's Aes Sedai testing, if you remember from New Spring. And she had Moiraine's things while Moiraine was taking the test, like her clothes and her notebook, which had her information about the bounty that they were collecting for the babies, trying to find the Dragon Reborn, and I think some notes in there about that. Do you think she looked?
Yes.
And then what?
Nothing. She just files it away, probably, like everything she sees.
For 20 years. That's interesting. I don't know. We're thinking too much.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine
silence
her
ruminating.
Yeah, I can't imagine her having the opportunity for knowledge and not taking it. That's why I think she looked.
But there's other people there. How could she look?
Yeah, no one's paying attention to her.
They're all paying attention to the test. like controlling the test, and
That's interesting. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. They make a point of it, almost like, and I think Maureen's worried or concerned that Verin might have looked in the book. It's almost like the same scene when Egwene takes her test, right?
Yeah,
And she
right,
has
with
the
her
dream
stuff.
ring and the notes,
Hmm.
and she's concerned that they look through that. She has a warder. His name is Tomas. Not much known
Okay.
about Tomas, really. I don't even know when she bonded him. I think it was shortly after she gave him the shawl.
I read that she had another warder who died.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, he's not
Yeah.
he's not 150 years old or
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
she
no,
had
no.
a warder. The first warder died, and then she bonded him. But this
No, he's
guy's like
he's
pretty old, right?
he's
He's
like
not
130.
150, but maybe he's like. I thought he was older.
He is an older warder. You're right. That makes sense. He
Yeah.
wouldn't be 120 years old or whatever it is. Whenever she. Although warders do live a little longer though, don't they? Than regular men. I mean, the ones that don't die, obviously,
I
in
don't
in
know.
combat.
I don't know about that.
Is that one of the benefits of the bond? I know that's like
I
health,
don't remember
but
long life being part of it.
you would think that the like stronger constitution and health would lead to living a little bit longer, even if it's only like 5 years longer than most, the average.
Maybe they never found out because warders always die
I guess.
first.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who knows? So I think, as most Browns are, she's very driven to knowledge and learning. Obviously, Verin is a collector of all kinds of knowledge. She was not considered particularly strong in the One Power. So if we're talking like in relation to, I'll just put it in relation to some of the Aes Sedai we've met in season 1. She's weaker than Moraine Swan, Leane, and Leandrin. And she's on par on the scale in the wiki. She's on par with Alana. So about the same as Alana. Put that into perspective there. So she's powerful, just not extraordinarily powerful. But she was particularly skilled at delving, even though she wasn't really a strong healer. Very good at delving, which was interesting. And she did have some skill with the weather, which we find out a little bit later on, but I don't think that's really too spoilery. Her rooms in the tower, we get a good description of them when Egwene goes there. They're filled with books, scrolls, maps, notes, and oddities, including skulls and an owl, which is there to keep mice away from chewing all the paper that's in her room. Just a little bit on her personality. She often appears lost in thought, can go on irrelevant tangents, and Tom, this is kind of what you were saying before. She uses these traits to lure people into a false sense of security, and often has ulterior motives and knows exactly what's going on. So this is kind of like what you were saying before, Tom, like she kind of plays the fool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, she does. And I think it's almost directly called out in one of the later books. After some people, I guess, cue in on it or whatever. But, yeah, I think that's an interesting part of her. And I think it's interesting because, like, I think it's one of the rare things I think the reader catches on to, like, something like this before any of the characters do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. Like, Moraine seems pretty hoodwinked to the fact that she's, like, a flighty, not present person.
Yeah.
And Maureen's usually very good at, like, reading people.
Yeah.
So it seems like, without spoiling anything, the Brown Aja is a good place to hide and act like you're like a flighty person who's like not paying attention to what's going on. If you're trying to
True.
pretend you're, have people not notice you, the Brown Aja seems to be a good place to do that in.
I don't mean this as to put down the Brown Aja, but I imagine if you became Aes Sedai and you were kind of a lazy Aes Sedai, like you would choose a lazy person, you'd probably choose the Brown because you don't really have to do much.
Really?
I mean, it seems like they do a lot of research.
Yeah, but like there's no
I feel like
There's no like.
There's no like, oh,
It's
you
not like
have
you
to
have
do
homework.
X. You have to
Right,
do
yeah.
X amount of research today for
Right.
to remain in the Brown Aja. I don't. Maybe there is. I have no idea.
I feel like that's
Do like a term paper every year, like a final report you have to submit to the Amerlin of your yearly research.
I mean, really, most of the time, what does the greenish do?
They fight. They
There's
go
not
out.
that much fighting.
Well, I think as much as
What's the
people
red doing? There's like 7 false dragons over like 100 years. What the hell
well,
do
no,
you
they don't
do?
just hunt false dragons. They hunt all men who can channel,
All right, yeah.
which is sure there's plenty of. The green go out. Yeah, they fight, I guess. I don't know. They go out to the blight sometimes. They, I don't know, break up fights. I have no idea. They practice. They go in the practice yards and just blow things up. I
Don't
can
they say,
imagine
like, I
the greenish jaw like a bunch of teenagers with firecrackers.
Yeah, doesn't Alana say like, "Oh, I joined it, but I didn't think like I'd actually have to fight in the last battle." Like,
Well, people don't think they're gonna have to fight in the last
right,
battle.
right.
Yeah,
I'll just be
that's
green. Yeah, that'll be cool.
I mean, I get to
Yeah.
bang a lot of guys. I mean,
yes, yes. Oh, this is the Aja where I get to bang a lot of guys. Yeah, I'll pick this one.
line me up.
And think about it, they're bonded, so she can feel his emotions, they can feel each other's emotions. So that's kind of like a feedback loop right there of orgasms.
Probably it's got to be annoying to like feel a bunch of people's emotions. Like, I mean, we see it later on in the books. Like, that's not really a great thing to be like feeling all these people's emotions in your head.
No, I imagine it takes some getting used to, but I don't think it's not that strong. So I think it's not to the point where it's very distracting. Or I guess the stronger the emotion, the more distracting it could be. And also it goes distance-wise too, right? The closer you are together, the farther you are apart type deal. So there's a lot of factors in there, I think. So let's jump into the books, right? We first meet Verin in The Great Hunt, as Jen read us in. She's one of the 14 sisters who accompanies Swan to Faldara. So I'm wondering, right? I'm still of the opinion that Swan is going to go to Faldara, like in the beginning. And that could
I'm
be
100% not of that opinion.
I'm just
It
saying.
doesn't make any sense.
It does make sense because she knew Maureen was going there. She knew the Eye of the World and the Dark One's prison. The last battle was coming. She knows that a huge fight happened and Faldara was almost totally wiped out. So,
do you think that Moraine is going back to Faldara?
I don't know.
I don't.
But this could be where we meet Verin for the first time.
No, I think we meet Verin in the tower.
What would they do? Why would they go?
They'd go there, they'd heal the wounded, make sure somebody's set up to be in charge of Faldara because Lord Agelmar died.
Lady Amelisa also dead.
And somebody's got to kind of organize the hunt.
That's why you have...
Because Agelmar's dead.
Ingtar.
Is Ingtar just going to come up and be like, all right, guys, we got to go hunt? He could organize the whole thing.
Be like,
Wait,
where was I, guys? Hey, I was just out of town for a few days.
I just got back.
I didn't have anything to do with this entire battle. That
I can't believe I missed everyone dying. Thank God I'm here now.
Not a scratch on me.
I mean, no, it doesn't have to happen. I'm just saying this would be a good place to introduce Verin. So in the books, she's the one who writes down the blood calls blood prophecy after Fane escapes, and she's the one who interprets it. And she figures out that one of the boys is the Dragon Reborn. And at that point is when Moraine and Swan decide to let her in on the big secret. Because she already knows too much.
She figures it out because she read Moraine's notes 20 years ago.
Yes, she did. And then smudged some ink on her nose.
Yeah.
So
this is the moment to break out that information. This is it.
Yeah. Then she meets up with the boys when they go on the hunt for the horn with the Shenarans. She tags along, claiming that Moraine sent her. Bullshit. She's the one who gives Rand some guidance and hints on how to use the portal stone that leads to the flicker, flicker, flicker scene. Also, did Verin know that something like that was going to happen?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
But she doesn't pick the she doesn't pick the runes, right? That he uses to channel. She just tells him like this
Like, why does that even happen?
What?
The flicker.
Because they got to move the story 6 months ahead.
It's like a booby trap if you channel into the wrong rune. Like
he did it incorrectly. He channeled the wrong weaves. Or
why
whatever.
is that even like a thing that would happen to you?
Well, it's kind of like when
is it just because it's him though? Because he's living like I don't know. No,
everyone does it.
No, it happens to everyone. I don't know. It's like when you plug in a cable wrong or something like that into the wrong jack, and it makes a weird buzzing noise.
When you plug into a cable wrong, and then you live 1,000 different lives.
No, and it makes a buzzing sound. Why does it do that? It just does because it's not. It wasn't supposed to.
It just does.
I was thinking of this scene in Galaxy Quest when they get into the room with just all the stamping metal things. Like, why is this even on the ship?
Oh man.
I doubt she knew about it.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense for that. Like, why would you want them to
no reason
get delayed?
If she does that, it happens to her too, so it's not like.
Oh yeah, that's right. I don't even think about that. I never thought about that.
Think about it, man.
I wonder what she sees. What does she see in her flicker? What in one of her lives?
She marries the guy.
She marries Edwin.
Yeah.
I like it. 15 years old. At 16, maybe. Later on, right after that, right, she's the one who sends Matt, Rand, Perrin, Ingtar, and Huron into Falma, quoting the 5 ride forth passage from the Corythan cycle. So that's Verin doing that.
So that's Verin.
5 ride forth and 4 return. Above the watchers, over the waves, shall he proclaim himself, bannered across the sky in fire.
So that probably won't be in it because Huron's not, well, no, they're not even all together.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about it. Well, for one, they could change it to 4 ride forth, but they're 3 return.
Oh, if they all like meet up.
You change it Huron to Loyal like it should have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Loyal can go. Oh, we know Loyal goes because he's there in the fighting scene.
They fight. He proclaims himself in ankle-deep water on a sandbar near a waygate, as I picture it. Not in the sky. I can't wait till that water fight happens, guys. It's going to be really cool. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's right, because if they do the 5 ride forth and they use the same exact prophecy wording, what is the above the watchers over the waves shall he proclaim himself? Are they going to do the fight in the sky?
No, God, I hope not.
Why do you hope not?
It's just, I can't. Like, do you think it's physically there in the sky, or it's just like everyone thinks they can see it in the sky? Like it's like in everybody's like brain happening.
Yeah, I think it's projected across the skies. I don't think they turn into like 100 feet tall giants.
Like it's like I'm seeing it with my eyes, or it's like in my brain.
No, I think you see it with your eyes.
My special eyes. Remember that commercial?
Yeah.
No.
It was a joke like
my brand. Commercial. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know about that. I just can't. I can't picture it. I don't know.
I can't picture it how they would do it, and it would be good either.
Well, I made mention of this. I think the Marvel Studios show Moon Knight. At the climactic battle at the end of that series, 2 gods do fight, and they actually do turn like 100 feet tall and fight. But like, because they're gods, but or like they're like in the sky battling while like other people are fighting in the streets. And I was like, oh, they could do it like that. That looks really cool. And now I'm in on it.
No.
What if they fight on top of a tall building?
Well, they're gonna fight in the water, and everyone's gonna see them from like the city walls. I'm telling you. It's happening.
All right.
Putting it out there.
So we might not get a 5 ride fourth at all. Saddening.
No, I don't think we are going to. Maybe like a different time. I don't know when.
Nah, if they're not going to put it there, there's no point in putting it in there. It doesn't have any bearing later on for the story.
Maybe the 5 are like Ingtar, Uno, Perrin.
It could be Uno. Maybe Uno's
Massima, and I don't know who else. And
it's very different. It's very different.
And Elias. There you go. 5.
He ain't making. He's not around by that point.
That's how he dies. In a White Cloak fight.
He dies killing Jeffrey Bornhold.
He kills Jeffrem. Perrin kills. No, Jeffrem kills Elias. Perrin kills Jeffrem.
There you go.
And then Dane wants to go.
We were back on last week's episode. I feel like we forgot that we were supposed to talk about
what happened to Verin? Wait
Verin. So that's basically her story in the Great Hunt. In The Dragon Reborn, she accompanies the girls and Matt back to Tar-Valon. With
Wouldn't
the
you know
Hornet.
it? Dane Bornhold is there.
Yeah, Dane Bornhold shows up. Let's go talk about him. And they have the Horn of Valir, by the way. I forgot about this. They're bringing the Horn of Valir back to the tower, and Verin is one of only 2 people who know that the Horn of Valir is there and where it is. It's just her and Swan.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, I also
How does
forgot.
like the other people that are with her not know?
With who?
Like Egwene and Nynaeve.
Well,
and
I don't know if
Alyssa?
they know she has the horn.
Oh, okay.
1 and 2. It even though it's in the tower, nobody knows where in the tower it is except for Swan and Verin. But I don't think
Okay.
they know they have the horn. I think Maureen probably gave it to her and said, "Here, sneak this back into the tower and let Swan."
We know where they're putting it. Underneath the Amerlin seat.
They're gonna smash the cement up, and then
It just slides over.
put it in there, and then just
It's on like
pour cement.
on a mechanism already.
Yeah,
You know where they're going to put it? They're
In
going
the-
to put it in the accepted test room, and that's where you're going to see that a little bit in season 3.
they're gonna put it in the accepted test room.
Why?
Because I don't know why you would see that room for one scene in season 3. So just trying to find reasons why they would go there.
No.
I liked somebody's idea that's where, I don't remember who it was, that's where they're going to meet in Teller and Riyadh instead of the Stone of Tyr. Like that's going to be their
yes.
rallying point.
I like that.
I like that one. She's part of the circle that heals Matt again. So she's in the one that finally fully heals him. She also brings up to Swan at one point the possibility of just letting Matt die so the horn's no longer linked to him. So like, hey, we can let him die, and then somebody in the tower could blow the horn and be linked to them. So now we have control of the horn.
But then you have to blow the horn to get linked to it.
Yeah.
Then they just all come, and you're like, no, I was just linking
Just
myself to
linking
the
it.
horn. That's all.
Just linking it
You
to
guys
myself.
can go back. False alarm.
It was like that she was pairing it
Yeah.
like Bluetooth.
Connected. Arthur Hawkwing shakes his head, walks away, dissipates into.
Yeah,
Into
she
the
disconnects
clouds.
her Bluetooth. She also discovers that Egwene and Nynaeve are hunting for the Black Aja, and as I mentioned before, she's the one who gives Egwene the twisted stone ring to Angrial that takes you into Teleran Riyadh. And that basically sums up what she does in the first 3 books. Well, books 2 and 3. She's not in book 1. Anything that I missed that you wanted to bring up before we start linking it up to the show? Pairing to the show?
Yeah, you made some kind of mention about it, and I'll say this, right? We're in the spirit of our giving kudos to the reveal of the casting, right? We're not going to be talking about Verin in later books, things of that nature. But you made reference to something when she shows up in the Great Hunt. She says, like, yeah, Moraine sent me. And then, like, later on, Moraine's like, What? I didn't send her.
Yeah, I think it was the end of the Great Hunt. She says, I didn't
Yeah.
send her.
Right. So, like, from that point on, like, there's something fishy there, and I think that's kind of an interesting.
Yeah, that was a big thing back in the day on like the message boards and stuff. I remember a lot of theories about that. Like, did
Right.
she actually lie? Was it just like a mistake that Jordan put in the book? Or, you
Mhm.
know, it was an accident. He misspoke, or is there some sort of, did she word it in a specific way that she still was abiding by the three oaths or the
Right.
first oath?
Or did she think that Maureen sent her
Yeah.
because someone appeared as Maureen to tell her to go?
Yes,
Or
yes.
Yeah.
there's so many different options that it could be, to the point where people were like, there was a theory going on early in the early books that Maureen was actually Black Aja,
Oh, you just gave it away.
because
Thanks.
Ah.
That's okay.
so because like people are like, well, maybe she was lying there, and then how could you lie for whatever? So that sort of thing. So like,
Yeah.
I think that I am very curious if they're going to leave an element like that in this first season of her.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Like, are we going to get a moment like that in this season where if you're listening carefully, you're going to realize that she was caught in a lie or potential lie?
I hope so. I hope so.
I mean, if they're condensing the what's it called? If they're condensing the story down, then you'd have to probably put that in this season. Or you got to put some sort of hint in at some point, and I would think you'd do it in season 2.
Yeah, because right, presumably in season 3, she will be in the Two Rivers, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean they could
So
do it
you already
there,
want to.
but I don't know. I wouldn't wait for it. I think you need to get into it right away.
Mhm.
So let's talk about the show. Let's talk about, because I just like to do this with every character. How are we going to be introduced to Verin? I already gave you my thoughts on it, and since you both poo-pooed those, let's hear yours.
In the tower. I don't know how though. Like, when is Egwene gonna find out that she's a dreamer? Is it gonna be in this season?
It could
Because she
be.
did find out. She knew that she was potentially a dreamer,
Just because she had
right?
some
Because she was having
dreams.
dreams when she was traveling to the tower in the Great Hunt, and then she talked to Anaya about it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So she already did know. She just didn't get into Tel'aran'rhiod, I don't think, in
Till the
book
third
2.
book.
Yeah, but
And she uses that to escape, right, when they're captured by the Black Aja and Tyr. So I wonder if
Yeah.
that's going to play a role. Did we ever talk about, and I don't even know if there's any proof or evidence one way or another, if you're collared, can you enter Tel'aran'rhiod? You should be able to, right? It has nothing, because it's like a link.
It's not channeling.
It's not channeling. Right? It's not like some sort of.
No, but then why did Moghedien go into Tel'aran'rhiod when she was collared?
She was collared in Tel'aran'rhiod.
She was?
Yes. And somehow that.
Oh, originally.
Yes.
Right. But then.
Yeah, I guess not, because then Moghedien would have just went to Tel'aran'rhiod while she was collared and figured out a way.
I mean, they originally
to
collared her to get her, but then she was collared in the real world for like a long time.
So then
she couldn't get out until somebody took the collar off.
Yeah, so then maybe she can't. Maybe you can't. So you've got her in the tower being introduced under something to have to do with dreaming or the ter'angreal.
Yeah, I think you could have her, like, you could have the same kind of setup of Egwene's having dreams, and
Yeah.
like she's the person that Egwene goes to for guidance on this. So it could be something as simple as like it starts off with a lesson and explaining like there's a talent called dreaming, but there has been a dreamer in the tower for XGX years, and
Yeah, I think she is the
Egwene goes
one who first gives a little bit of background on what Tel'aran'rhiod is, right?
Yeah.
She's the first one to do that, I think, in the books.
I feel like they're gonna have to really explain the difference between the different kinds of dreams, because to just say like, oh, you're having weird dreams, like Perrin and Rand had weird dreams in season 1. Like they have to differentiate between like what happened to them and like what's happening to her, why her dreams are different.
Yeah, that's
gonna be
true.
hard to like differentiate because the whole dreaming thing is very complicated.
It is, and
Shard. Is it your dream? Somebody else in your dream? Are you in a dream shard? Are you in Tel'aran'rhiod? It's like
I think they could
complicated.
You're right. I think they could simplify it. I think they probably will. I forgot what I was going to say. It had something to do with. No, that's okay. It was something I was going to say a while ago, and I forgot about it. It had something. The pictures, not the pictures, the video teasers that we've gotten for season 2, right? Anytime we saw the Shienarans and Perrin, we didn't see an Aes Sedai with them, right? So I was going to ask, like, does that mean we don't get any Aes Sedai going with them to Falme? Like with Perrin's group?
Didn't know that she was playing Verin until today, so they wouldn't have put her in the trailer with them.
So you think they just carefully used clips without her? Like she's there off to the side, like off camera?
She could be, but I don't know if she necessarily is, but I think that if she is, they would not have shown her because they didn't want us to know that she was Verin.
I agree with you there. How about you, Tom?
Yeah, and even if she is there and she does go there in a similar manner of like riding up on them as they're approaching, go, hey, she may not do that with Perrin's group. I don't know if they're going to assemble all together before they go in, or if Perrin's going to be there captured in a similar way. You know, like if like the Shienarans are just captured there or like are stuck in the city when Rand shows back up or Matt shows up with or whoever is the instigator for the final battle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I think that, she could be with a different group of people who are arriving, because I don't necessarily think that they're all going to meet up like somewhere else on Tome and Head and walk into Falme together.
Mm-hmm.
The Shienarans are the only thing that makes me think that we would see Faldara, because everybody else could skip ahead, but like you have to see them, like you have to see Ingtar, you have to meet him. I think it would be weird if they were like on the hunt already and then like they just like used
I could see them doing
described
that.
What had happened, like remember when we all got together and decided to go after the Horde? Like, how would they? I feel like you have to see that. And you have to see everybody get healed and talk about that. And
there could just be a scene where, that's true, because Ingtar and Loyal, right? Yeah, they can't. You're right. They can't just like can't just like ignore that happened and then explain it away like you said, just like, oh, it's a good thing that whatever showed up and was able to heal me.
Yeah, I don't think Swan is going there, but I feel like we have to. But I don't know how they're gonna do that. Like, is everyone on a different timeline or? Yeah,
I'm so confused because they keep inferring that they're skipping like ahead, right? We've heard a bunch of people say like it takes place like a month, 2 months after the first book the first season ends. So then why would they still be in Shinar for that long?
Unless it's like it starts there and then like it's just like 2 months later.
Unless it's a cold open.
Like,
is it a cold open and then they jump ahead?
Yeah, maybe.
No, the cold open has got to be the Dark Friend Social.
I don't know. I'm not sure how they're going to do this.
I really do think it's just later. I think they're on the road. And you meet them in Midoritas, and you gotta
so annoying.
It is, right? Because like Jen said, like you wind up with
that's less annoying to me than just like, let's go everybody, and then it cuts to 2 months. No, they already did one of those.
But you made a point of
Ingtar? Like who is
not even that. You can introduce Ingtar in a quick conversation. they ended the season with Loyal getting stabbed, looking like he's dead, and same for Uno. And you can't just like start it where they're already on the road and be like, then you shouldn't have ended the season that way. You shouldn't have ended it with. No, I mean with the two of them. Like the two of them didn't need to be stabbed and almost dying.
That's true.
Like
Loyal
that's
got that extra twist.
Yes, I think that's they're gonna have to explain something.
But like, what are they gonna do? Do you really want to spend 15 minutes, 10 minutes of screen time going, oh wait, the girls walked back into and then they saw and they healed them, and then Ingtar walked. Like, you don't want to.
No, but you don't have to like.
What if like the first half of the episode? I think they can be in like an
infirmary, they could be like lying down, like they've been healed, and then like Ingtar comes in, and then they say we got to go after the horn. Like, and then they're going after the horn. Like we have to see that. Like, oh, that horn was like important. We got to go get that thing.
Two things. One of the reasons why I think that Swan and the Ice started going there, because who the hell's healing all those people who are basically dead on the floor? I mean, Nynaeve, I guess, could do it, but
Nynaeve healed like 17 people already.
I guess Nynaeve could do it if
come in and do a blast.
And Egwene,
it doesn't work that way. I guess she's blocked.
I don't know. Maybe that doesn't. I don't know. I'm not sure if that sits well with me. The other thing is they could do like the first half of the episode, wrap that up, like just kind of like like an epilogue type of thing from last season. Like this is what happened immediately after the season ended, and then skip ahead. Then just like 1 month late, like you said, Tom. It ends with them leaving for the hunt, and then they skip ahead.
I think
they should do last time on Wheel of Time, but it's like a scene we didn't see.
Oh, like Arrested Development would do.
Like as if it happened, but it never did.
Arrested Development would do that all the time. They'd be really? next time on Arrested Development. At the end of the episode, they would go, next time on Arrested Development. Show all these scenes, and then in the next episode, none of those scenes were in the episode.
I think it's infinitely worse on a first episode of a season to spend half of your time.
Maybe not half.
One place and then just doing a time jump in the middle. It's better served. It really is better served to just say, like, have the audience go, how is this happening? What's going on? And then have that filled in via backstory and conversation, than like spending valuable screen minutes dealing with things in a prior season.
Okay. And then the girls are already in the White Tower, and that's where they meet Verin, and that's our first introduction to Verin.
I think, yeah.
And
you could start it off with going like
the Ingtar problem is bothering me.
It's not even the Ingtar problem. I think you can explain easier than leaving the end of the season with two people dying on the floor and then just skipping 2 months ahead to them being okay.
You don't have to do it. You can start off with one or two things, I think, for them. It could be one, we lost the trail, we need to get a tracker. Let's go find Elias. Or two, like, they're approaching the setting where Loyal went to be healed, and now here's how we find out. We go get him.
I want to get back towards Verin. I'm sorry, we're straying a little far from that. So back to the idea that the girls go to the tower. That's where we meet Verin. What does Verin do for this season then? Like, what is her role in this season, right? Because in the Great Hunt, she's obviously with the boys, and eventually Rand gets separated and whatnot, so she's kind of there to kind of guide a little bit. And then in the third book, right, she's not in it that much. She's in it in the beginning, I think, or whatever, and then that's it. Then she's gone for like the rest of the book. So what is her role going to be in season 2 if she doesn't go with them on the hunt?
People were speculating that Verin could have been like who Moraine goes to see.
Yeah, we said that, right? But the possibility to figure out how to.
I don't know about that, just because I think I want to know who Haley Mills is playing first, because I feel like that might be that character. But, yeah, I don't know. I feel like she would want to involve herself in something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like in a big way.
I mean, do we get Black Aja plot in the tower in this season? And then that's,
I feel like you kind of have to bring that up because like Nynaeve and Elaine are
Presumably gonna
going to
go
be
look
doing
for
that
them.
in the next season.
Well, if we get the accepted test, maybe we get that where she goes to visit Verin before the accepted test to get Black Aja information. I don't know.
I don't know about these accepted tests. I can't.
Well, we
It's
know
definitely like 90. How many accepted tests are we going to get? Like,
that's true. We know we're
you
pretty
can't.
positive
Like, it's
we're
already
getting Nynaeve's.
like, it's like overkill if you do 2.
I agree.
too
I think
much.
we're gonna get Nynaeve's, and that's about it. Maybe we'll get a piece of Egwene's or something. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if she doesn't go on the hunt, I don't know what they do with Verin. Like, what does she do in this season? I can't really think of anything.
I think remember too that the show is going to be focusing more on the tower than the early books do. So I think really she's going to be in there for a majority of the season as an Aes Sedai in the tower. Like, she'll be there, she'll be a teacher, she'll be intriguing, whatever. Maybe you have something where she confronts Swan with like, I know what's going on, sort of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So similar to how she does that in the Great Hunt, just without Moraine there. I don't know. But then you could still have her show up at the end and say, Swan sent me, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I think you could have her show up. But like, really, other than Verin like pointing out to them, like, hey, there's this bit of prophecy, maybe only 5 of you should go. Like, it's not like she takes an active role in anything at Falm.
Mm-hmm.
So is it even necessary that she's there? No.
But I'm just like, she just sits around the tower. We get a couple of scenes maybe of her in the tower just chilling out. I don't know. They're probably going to create new scenes up. So if they're doing that.
Yeah, well, I think you can still have her be the font of wisdom and knowledge and like, here's what Tel'aran'rhiod is. Here's what a dreamer
is. Teachers. She could be teaching.
Right.
Though that
here's what the Black Aja is that no one's going to tell you about. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm curious. We knew we were getting Verin. We thought Mira was Verin, and she is, or I didn't. But yeah, I never really thought about what her role was going to be in this season, and forgetting, like, just making the connection today that like she wasn't in any of those pictures with the Shannarans and Perrin and Loyal hunting for the Horn. It could be they were just strategic in what the clips they pulled so that she wasn't on camera, or she could not be going with them on the hunt. I'd like her to be on the hunt. It'd be really cool if she was there. But yeah, if she just hangs out in the tower for a while, I guess that's okay. I kind of like that Verin's like, she's a brown, but she's always out and about more so than most browns. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
All right, here you go. So how about this? Verin leaves, shows up at the end at Falm, says Swan sent me to be with you guys, right? She offers to go back with Perrin to the 2 rivers.
And then
Alana's there, and Alana's like, Swan sent me because there was nobody else here.
Wait, Alana's where? At the 2 rivers?
Alana gets sent to the 2 rivers by Swan. You see that scene.
Okay.
Right? And Alana says, well, I got sent because there was nobody else here, thereby kind of showing if Swan sent Verin to be there, why would she send Alana to be there because nobody was there?
Yeah.
Right? So you could do that sort of a thing, a same kind of a thing there. And then you could have Verin out and about in a way that in season 2 makes sense, and then in season 3 will be questioned. And then you could have more a more interesting dynamic where Verin and Alana don't know like if they should be working together or not.
Dana Luhu's suggesting Verin and Cairhien with Moraine, where she meets Rand and figures out he is the Dragon Reborn.
I like it. I don't know if I
Yeah.
like it as much as I like mine data, but I like it.
I like Verin in any storyline. Just drop her in anywhere and it's gonna work. Like,
Yeah, I
We
just
don't know anything that Matt's
Right.
doing. Maybe Verin
Right.
takes Matt out.
Yeah, that's possible. I just don't want her to get stuck in the tower the whole season. I like her to be out and about doing something.
yeah.
Stretch your
Whether
legs,
it's
Verin.
whether it's hunting
Beautiful
for the
weather
horn,
out there.
whether Maureen goes to her, like she lives, finds her to figure out how to get unshielded, or she's in Kyrien. I like all those. I just don't want her to be stuck in the tower. That's all. That's all I have to say about that. Although, I mean, she's not going to spend much time in there, right? She'll leave at some point. But I think you kind of need. Maybe you don't need it. I mean, they know Alana now. They made the connection with Alana. Wait, actually, does Perrin know Alana? He never really met her officially, right? I was going to say, isn't it kind of
No.
important that when Perrin goes to the Two Rivers that he knows he's already met the Aes Sedai that are there? To kind of, because then he
That's
feels a
why
little more
everybody
comfortable.
has to be together at the hall in the end and like hold hands in a big circle.
Do a
We
Care
didn't
Bear
even
stare.
yeah, we
That's-
didn't even talk about what
That's
Alana's
what
gonna be
friends
doing
are
in season
for.
2. Yeah, I would think you'd want him to already know, like, be like, oh, okay, I know this Aes Sedai, I've met them before. Because he's
I lifted this person up bodily and moved her once.
Yes,
Right.
I spent a significant amount of time with her. I went through a flicker mirror world where we vomited because we saw horrible shit.
We vomited together
together.
once.
Yeah.
It bonds you in college. Why not here?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so many variables. It's insane.
I
Like, where's
know.
Fael? If Tom's right and Verin takes Perrin back to the Two Rivers, like,
They meet Fael on the way there.
when do they meet Fael?
Where's Marcel?
maybe Verin sings Matchmaker during. I don't know.
I don't know.
Verin's Yenta.
Food. Food for thought. Food for thought. We
Oh
won't-
my god.
We won't know. Yeah, we won't know until season 2 comes out. Until fall or the autumn or whenever. I'm really convinced
That's the
that.
same thing. That's the same thing.
It's the
too.
same thing. All right. Any last thing you guys want to bring up about Verin that we didn't touch on before?
Yeah, just
we
a little
wrap it
bit.
up?
Just a little bit quick. There's like going to the origins of the wheel at the time to look
Yes.
up Verin Mathwin, right? It looks like her name from the research found through that book was just a name that Jordan liked the sound of. There was really no influence to Mathwin or anything like that. Verin, of course, has a sonic similarity to verity, to truth, which I think is fitting, or ironically fitting on multiple levels with Verin. I think it's interesting there. But one of the main influences of her, I do want to get into this briefly because I think it's pretty cool, is somebody named Baden Powell, who founded the Scout movement, like the Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts kind of thing. But he was a master spy from Britain. And he was responsible. What he did was he would travel around Europe feigning to be like an oafish, clumsy, dopey British tourist, or like, explorer, like looking for like butterflies or flowers or things of that nature, and be like going to mountains and trying to find certain butterflies or things. And he had books with drawings, like very detailed drawings of all these different butterflies or different flowers or different whatever. But what he was really doing was scouting out fortresses and marking down like locations of the fortresses and like how many troops there were and where the troops were stationed and and all of that was hidden within these illustrations of botany or animals. And like his kind of dopey, like clumsy demeanor and his notebook specifically were both very much referenced by Verin, right? So I thought that was really an interesting kind of a pull. I had never heard of this guy's story before researching for this episode. So thank you to the 13th Depository for doing that
okay.
research.
I was about to say, I don't remember reading that in Origins. I must have missed that
No,
part.
none of that's in Origins. So,
Okay.
yeah, I think that's really, really cool. And, you know, when you get a look at Verin's notebooks, and they're filled with pictures of flowers and things of that nature, and it doesn't make any sense to anybody. And that's the reason why, because that's not really what she's doing. That's like coded.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Mhm.
So,
That's deep.
very interesting thing. With that, yeah, that's all I had.
That's deep, man. That's deep. All right, let's wrap it up here. I want to remind everyone to follow us on social media. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Join us over in Discord to continue the conversation there. We also post our episodes on YouTube, so you can go watch them if you prefer, and be sure to go to our YouTube page and subscribe. Rate and review us wherever you listen to podcasts, and check out our merchandise and Patreon pages to support us that way. Links to all the aforementioned information is included in the show notes to this episode. I just realized I've been saying this all wrong. It should be links to all the aforementioned information are included in the show notes to this episode. We have to go back.
Is included.
Links are included.
That's what you've been saying.
Yeah.
The information is included. That's what you
Links
were
to
saying.
all the aforementioned
But that's
information.
that's a prepositional
are
phrase.
included.
So to the aforementioned information.
You have been saying it wrong, but I can understand why.
Yeah.
Joe, go back and edit all those episodes, please.
I need to go back
Hey,
and
look,
edit all the
man,
episodes.
it's only taking you what, like 185, 6 episodes, something like that.
Yeah. So let me say that again. Links to all the aforementioned information are included in the show notes to this episode. Last thoughts before or I shouldn't say last thoughts, final words, Tom and Jen.
Happy Mother's Day to all the other mothers out there and anyone who
Yes.
celebrates.
Happy Mother's Day, Jen, and to all our
Thank
mothers and our listeners who are mothers and our listeners' mothers and so on and so forth.
Happy Mother's Day to Jen, to our wives, to our moms, to you, listener, if you are a mother. Happy Mother's Day to you.
Thanks everyone for listening, and you'll hear us next time.